ahead of time. In fact, you did ask us at the end of last session.
Oh,
I remember thumbs upping you when you asked.
I did remember. That's awesome. Hey, this is Rich, and you are watching my YouTube channel where I play tabletop RPGs with friends. And this is part of Star Wars Saturdays, where every Saturday, almost every Saturday, I take a few off every once in a while. I run different RPGs set in the Star Wars universe. This is the third of 3 of Ghost Orbit. Ghost Orbit is from Bad Quell Games. It is on itch. It is a pretty neat little lean and mean game. 8-page game for players, 8-page for the GM or the Union rep, as they're called, and a character sheet. It is a World of Dungeons or Woe-Do style game with a pretty cool little stress implement. We have tweaked it just a little bit gently, but in conversation with the game's designer to make it a little more hard scrabble, because I'm doing more discrete missions than how it had been envisioned. Although that all went out the just hit the mic. I'm sorry. It's totally unprofessional. It all went out the window last session as these guys are doing crazy shit that space station folks aren't supposed to be doing, but doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing. Isn't that the Star Wars way, really? I mean, you jump on a speeder bike that you've probably never driven before, and you have a big chase sequence. That's how it goes. This game, we are going to be using the safety tool of the X card. The X card allows us to stop any moment of play when a player is uncomfortable or causes them to really not want particular content. Before game, we did create lines and veils, so we do have some things that we have veiled here, and we only have a line right now on sexual assault or sexual violence, which is not at all Star Warsy to me, so I'm happy to never see that in our game. Drug use is not veiled, which is probably good, because it's going to be a big thing that's going on in this particular session. A little content warning, and also there'll probably be people getting shot, because Star Wars does that thing. So that is the setup. We are the third session. Just as a quick spin up, our 3 engineers, our team of Union engineers on the space station Prospero's Dream, have volunteered themselves to help out with a certain little Union trouble. It turns out that basically the Union Teamsters Local 32819L, a number of them have been captured by a syndicate, and this syndicate has actually executed a few of them. The Stretmeyer syndicate leader has agreed to meet with some people to negotiate terms, because he wants the Golyanovo to Bratva to turn over their Sycorax, which is a type of spice, a very, very lucrative drug that comes out of Prospero's Dream. He wants it. He wants in on that trade. He wants it to himself, and he was holding the Teamsters, trying to squeeze them for ransom. You guys were sent out by Reedmar, the Union rep of the Teamster Local, and authorized by Yandy to negotiate the possibility of this syndicate escorting these shipments going forward for a heavy fee. You provided that bit of information. Doro had impressed Yandy with his administrative acumen, and maybe she knew that there was a former connection between Doro and the leader of the Stratmeyer Syndicate. You guys traveled through, came onto the heavy freighter, where the heavy freighter that was currently captured by the Syndicate, and that's where former TIE fighter Quint saw another member of his squad from back in the day, who's now working for the Syndicate, Crix Alcyon. But you guys headed on into the meeting room where you saw Oberon Callus. Oh, little wrinkle also in last session. Vlaz, our the heart of the team, really. Our our particular engineer who actually does engineering shit. He found out that he became infected with some kind of virus that you guys were dealing with on the station, and he may have infected a console cowboy, a hacker, a slicer on the ship in the Canyon Heavy market. But that's fine. You're going to be cool. And so Vlaz is currently wearing a spacesuit during this meeting because he has a cold. So there we go. That is the spin up. And if I've forgotten anything, please feel free to remind me. Let's do quick character introductions. Marco, good late. It's morning. It's the earliest for you than anyone. I appreciate you being here. If you could introduce yourself and your character.
I'm Marco. I use he/him pronouns, and I'm playing Vlaz, who also uses he/him pronouns. He is a CHIS engineer, and he was really trying to be a good person and make up for some of his failings in his past, and this infection is making it tough, as I've already have spread the disease further on my own station. I'm trying not to let it get off the station because it is connected to a sentient being.
Nice. Thank you, Marco. Erez, if you could introduce yourself and your character.
Sure. Name is Erez, he/him, and my character name is Doro, which is also a him, kind of. He's a Togruta. He's a little chubby. He's a little annoyed with this situation. He used to be a clerk, or was he, in the old empire. A very important clerk, apparently, because everyone knows his name. And he should be running this entire thing. Whatever is going on, he should be running it, and he's not. And he's going to try to get to where he's supposed to be.
I've seen his stats. He's pretty good at this stuff. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, it's a real shame. The Imperials held him back. Now, here in the new future, with the new Republic, he's got a chance. Will, good afternoon. Please introduce yourself and your character.
So my name's Will. My pronouns are he/him, and that's the same as my character, Quinton Bracco, aka Quint, who is a former TIE pilot with the 181st, who is basically out here trying to get his way back into a cockpit, forced to do the drudge work until he can get behind the wheel of the expensive planes and ships. But he's got a golden opportunity ahead of him, which is if he kills Oberon Kalos, the leader of the syndicate, then the security team back at Prospero's Dream will give him fast track access to the pilot program there, and he can finally become the hotshot pilot that he once was.
Right. Oh my goodness, I will tell you guys, all of these characters may become NPCs in future Star Wars games because they're pretty flavorful. That's all assuming they survive.
I would love if Quint was an antagonist NPC for a group of Rogue Squadron pilots in the Night Witch's hack or something.
Oh my god, so good, so good. Okay, awesome. Woo, exciting. So the last moment that we'd had is you guys entering into the captain's conference room, as it were. I'm kind of just as a quick idea of look. I'm kind of imagining the conference room from like Star Trek Next Generation. I know we're not supposed to mix the two Star Wars these things, but just imagine with me, friends. Maybe there's a few more like 70s look than the beige is more of a pale off-white. And yeah, across from the table sits Oberon Kalos, the Stratmeyer syndicate leader, former Imperial warlord who traded up, as it were, who used to work with none other than Doro Beza. He immediately recognizes you from your head tails to the coloration on your face, and of course, your portly size. And he says, Doro Beza, what has brought you here? You, of all beings, I did not expect to be working for the Bratva, despicable organization. I thought better of you, old man.
Oberon. You don't know my life since things changed. Things should change more. I hope to change things. What do you think? I've always known you to be a wise human. Is there a place for conversation to, end this whole thing?
Of course there is. If there was no opportunity, I would not have allowed you onto this ship. You are, from what I understand, risky. Your Chiss friend has some kind of ailment. We will keep him in that ship, in that suit, of course. What is it that Yandi has offered you to offer me?
What was it? I think like half. No, not half. Like 10% or something.
Yeah,
right?
it was like 10%, but of course she gives it in a credit figure, so it looks like thousands and thousands of credits, but it's only like 10% of their take.
Yeah, I'm gonna say thousands and thousands, obviously.
Yeah, it was. I think you remember you saying that it was like half of what the syndicate had demanded, effectively.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly it. So you can negotiate up from there.
So yeah, I start giving him the numbers.
Okay.
And as you know, if this ends peacefully, this will not be a one-time payment, of course. This will be stretched over a long period of time, as long as protection continues, of course.
Quint will lean forward and just say, and what of our people?
Your spacers. Yes. What
Our
of them?
people. Yes. You killed 2 of them. While we were speaking of the crimes of the Bratva syndicate, of the Bratva, perhaps we should remember why we are here in the first place. Imperial officers turning to base piracy.
He peers at you closely for a moment. Are you ex-Imperial as well?
Flew with your man Crix out there.
Oh, funny. He never mentioned you.
He never mentioned working for a man such as yourself, either. Strange bedfellows these times make.
Indeed.
Now,
so I see that you are the lickspittle for the negotiator for Yandi now. That's what you have come to. A former pilot. A former TIE fighter pilot.
yes, I knew how to serve the Empire, and I know how to serve people here for the greater good, not for my own gain.
You may have the bodies for whatever burial purposes you wish. They were, as you would know, pawns.
And the living?
Living, if we find an amenable arrangement, this paltry sum you've offered is not it. Be released to you. There are escape pods that we can send them to follow, key them to your insignia of the shuttle you used to arrive here.
I would rather they boarded our shuttle and we left with them.
If you are able to make me happy, then I'll release them to you.
Yes, well, I know how some people like to use escape pods for target practice.
Beza, this will
Yeah, are
not
you
do.
done, Quinn?
This will not do at all.
Just remember why we're here, Doro.
I remember.
You see,
You.
while I don't have your services, I do have droids that can do calculations, and our estimate of the Bratva take for the Sycorax trade 100 times the paltry fee that you offer here.
So what is your side? What do you think? I've stated my side. State yours.
Here's what I offer you, Doro. I want you to go back and inform Yandy that she's going to have to come up with something better. Because honestly, we want the trade itself. We want the whole kit and caboodle, as it were. So, whatever she offers is not going to work, because she's not going to give us that. What I want is for the three of you to go back and get us some of the seeds. You see, Sycorax comes from the seeds from that abominable tree the Solarians have in their temple. Oh, you thought that they were there just for religious amusement or appeasing the masses. Religion is an opiate, but even more so, the trees that they hold in that temple, the seeds are used to manufacture Sycorax. If you will obtain a number of those seeds, then we will play along. We'll play along with Yandy's offer while we create our own market for the stuff.
As part of negotiations, you probably would like to show your goodwill. Perhaps release some of the pilots? 1, 2? Don't know how many are there.
Oh, cool. That's a great offer. I think you should roll with face, or
Yes.
maybe you should roll with some, I don't know if administration fits here. I think it'd go with face, just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
let's
I
see
will
here.
risk calm as an extra.
Okay, cool.
I mean, we could say we'll take back the pilots, but we'll leave the ship and the cargo as collateral. You know, because that's a.
They don't care about ships. I don't believe that. Anyway, that's not good. 2,
3
2, and
twos.
2. Yeah, at least I don't lose the calm.
Yeah, you don't lose your calm. You just lose the contest, he says.
So face, I assume.
Yeah, right. Hmm. All right. I'll send back one person as a measure of good faith. And you get to choose amongst the crew. You get to be the person that the others see. You get to know who else gets left behind from this crew. Also, as you arrive, I will be setting a timer and killing another one.
Not much of goodwill there, but I can get you those seeds. Just
Good.
give me the time.
Good. Very well. All right. Well, it seems that we have come to an agreeable arrangement for now. And I'm sure that Yandy will up her offer the next time. Make sure that you're sent back and bring me those seeds. If so, I'll accept whatever she offers, because what I will have is the prize that I truly want, because you will give it to me.
I will do my best to get this whole ordeal under control.
I knew that you would, Doro. So pleased that we're working together again.
Okay.
And he'll dismiss you guys. Seems like this is the time. Maybe Quint makes a move here, or is he gonna think better?
I think his his hand tenses on the sort of the mechanism that will spring the holdout blaster into his hand. But he thinks of he looks over at Vlos behind his spacesuit and he lets his hand relax, because I think that Quint wouldn't do this with basically he wants to get the hostages away so that he can do this kind of thing, but he's not going to just throw them away to do it.
Get one.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, one, that's great. Bang, bang, bang.
No.
I know. I think on the way back to the shuttle, he's going to lean in close to you and say, Yandy will never, ever give up those seats. You understand that?
Shocking that you would say me. Why would you think I don't know that?
And how long after you give the seeds over would it be before they're all dead?
You mean after they grow their own tree?
No, after you hand over the seeds, then they shoot us.
Those
Why
things
would
don't grow
he
so
do
fast.
anything else?
So what is the plan then, great administrator? Given that you have no leverage over Yandy, and that Yandy will never agree to the thing that you just agreed to, it seems like we've walked away from a negotiation holding none of the cards.
Well, we never held any of their cards to begin with, but now we have one pilot safe. Just a few
great
more.
comfort for the rest, I'm sure.
Hey, Rich, how many hostages are there?
Oh, how many hostages are there? I'm going to say there was a dozen. 2 have been killed. You get 1. So there will be 9 left, with a timer that one of the 9 will be killed by the syndicate if you don't answer the thing. He's not going to kill the person as soon as you guys arrive with a person. He just has a timer going, saying, "Here's the good hand. Here's my good hand. Here's my bad hand."
Mm-hmm. We need to do something to save those people and to get this whole ordeal done. What do you guys think?
Kill Oberon, this whole syndicate falls to pieces.
Do you really think so?
Yes, I do.
You don't think he has a second in command?
I don't think he has a second in command that will follow it. That will not be immediately killed by the 3rd in command, or the 4th in command, or the 5th in command.
Not all of the Empire was stable, as you know. It was stable for very long. People were killed all the time by but
by Vader, yes. As long as you were lucky enough not to serve with one of those Sith lunatics, you had proper discipline.
Now, we are alive.
Oberon, this whole unit, I know one of those pilots out there, Crix.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's a follower. He would never have led a crew of piracy across the galaxy.
And yet he is.
Now he's here serving with probably what was his last commanding officer. We remove the commanding officer. We offer them an alternative.
What's the alternative? Working for Yandy?
Why not?
Because...
Say what you like. I'm not proud of where we've ended up, but we don't prey on people. We don't.
Or do we? But that's beside the point.
How do we prey on people? People get preyed upon within the station. It is not has none of the order of the Empire, but we do not hunt down convoys and space their crews.
No, we sell spice.
Yes, to customers.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to explain the difference of those 2 things to you, Doro, I'm not sure you've understood the situation.
Kidnapping a person for his whole life using the ability to make him hooked on your things. In any case, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I just want this done because I don't want any more people dead.
Yes, which is going to happen unless we get rid of Oberon.
So you think we should get rid of Oberon? What about you, Vlos? Do you agree with that?
Marco, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I haven't spoken. That's why.
Okay.
Thinking.
I didn't witness the executions as they happened, but that's not an Imperial officer anymore. That's a pirate.
Yeah, he used the same methods used on my people. They worked. He's
My
quite
people
capable.
joined the Empire under different circumstances.
My people never joined the Empire. I did.
We negotiated with the Empire and got a really sweet deal.
This is not a war.
No, it's not. He's a pirate, obviously, but he uses the same tricks he uses as part of the Empire. But he wants something that we have, and you think the best course is to make sure he's dead.
Yes, because the thing that he wants, we can't give him. We established this.
Perhaps we can convince him we are giving him what he wants. And in the process, do what you think. If I might agree that is the best course of action.
We get our people off this ship, out of their hands. Step one.
Mhm.
We don't leave men behind.
Perhaps
No.
we can sabotage the ship somehow to increase our chance of escape.
I mean, if this was a Star Wars movie, there'd be a comms relay, or like a point on the ship that basically you took that out and it completely renders the Stratmire Syndicate incapable of responding to us and escaping.
Totally that.
Yeah, we could give him seeds with a little extra that will take him out as soon as we have everyone safe.
A thermal detonator?
Perhaps. Maybe just a cough.
That would not be a targeted strike. That would affect everybody. The hostages.
Well, first get the hostages, give him the seeds, and then, get
the
him
regular
out of the
pilots
way.
who are just following their officers.
So the freighters are filled with the spice Sycorax, right?
This freighter was actually coming back when they captured it. So it has supplies for Prospero Station, just sundries, food, mechanical parts, that kind of stuff. Really, the important part is, number one, the union's pissed off because these are their workers, and number two, Yandy wants them back because these guys will be carrying out the next big shipment of spice. Chances are she's looking for alternative people to ship it. Yandy's probably cutting her losses at this point and just putting up a show for the Teamsters' sake. I'm imagining this conversation maybe took place in a lift. You guys have gone out. Do you imagine you've now picked up one of the Union folks and you're headed back to your shuttle to fly back? I just want to make sure I have the.
Yeah. I mean, I would just to round up what I think is kind of like more meta conversation, really, so that we're all not pulling in different directions and making it so it's impossible for any of us to do any kind of
I think Crix would want to chat with Quentin before he left, but
we can we can do, but I would just say there's as a plan, perhaps as a group, maybe if we are going to go back and try and get the Sycorax seats, we sell that on the basis of we will get the Sycorax seeds from them. We'll come back, we'll load all of the crew onto our shuttle, and then we'll leave. And the thermal detonators that we smuggled into the Sycorax seeds, or the the droid that we left behind to hack the computer, or any of a million Star Wars like ambush solutions hijinks that we come up with.
All fine ideas, yeah.
Yeah, is what left behind, like.
Well, perhaps shooting him in the face is the best idea.
I mean, if it comes to that, but
no, giving him the seeds, getting the pilots, and then one of us stays there and shoot him in the face.
Yeah, I don't think that Quint's got a death wish about this stuff. So, and you also need the pilot to get you off. So
that's true.
Yeah,
well, that's why there is a bunch of pilots being saved.
Oh.
And who says Queen?
Yeah.
Are they pilots? I mean, they work on a freighter.
Yeah. I mean, there's
some of them are pilots. But...
Exactly, pilots, engineers, security team, basically folks that work on a giant tramp freighter.
So then the one we save, are we making sure we save one of the pilots so that we have an extra pilot on hand?
We could, although he's not flying back here.
Yeah. I mean, but we're agreed on that the solution is we go back to the dream. We talk to Yandy. Come back with a trap of some kind, like an ambusher, because that's the only way that Yandy will ever agree to even let us pretend that we're giving away the Sycorax seeds, is if it's got a,
of course,
a hidden sting, basically. Like, okay, cool, all right, but then that's just so that now we're as players kind of like mentally in sync with one another on that plan. Like,
I don't really know what the plan is, honestly, for when we go back.
No, but we'll work out something bad, something Star Warsian bad. Like, it's Star Wars. It's Star Wars. There'll be a piece of technology that doesn't make it, at all, and we can just do it. Yeah, thanks, Rich. So. I would actually like to have a scene with Crix quickly, though.
Cool. Yeah, so let's say that you guys have secured the pilot of this tramp freighter, and you're walking towards the bay where your shuttle had landed, and Crix Alcyon comes walking up as you see the gangways down for the shuttle, and you're about to head up, and he goes, Brecco, hey, Lieutenant Brecco. I mean,
Crix.
Quentin.
Crix. Lazy salute, and
he snaps off, a nice, like he tries to do a better salute than you, because none of that, he just like wants to impress you.
Yeah.
I can't believe when I saw you. You work at Prospero's?
Yes, I work at Prospero's. It is not quite flying with Baron Fell, but it is, I would say, honest work, but that would be stretching the truth slightly. It is work that does not involve preying upon those who we once protected.
I stuck with Oberon. He said that he would be leading us to better days, but I can't believe we're doing this. This is not what I signed up for.
No, it's not what the two union workers signed up for either. I'm not looking forward to telling the families of those we've left behind. But you remember how that goes. Telling people that you had to leave men behind, that they didn't make it.
I do.
There's a place for you on the Dream. With Tempest security, perhaps. Bring the TIE fighters. It's all yours.
Oh, let's see you make a roll. I think, would you like to risk face?
I mean, yeah. I think one thing with this is that, like, I could.
Yeah, you could risk TIE pilot.
No difference, does it? So, like, I'll risk TIE pilot because I've got 3 in TIE pilot rather than 1 in face, 2 in face.
Do it.
Well, the rules are if you fail, the GM drops one of your things, and you can lose one thing that you chose.
Yeah.
Which is
But my TIE pilot is the lowest one. So.
Yep. So TIE Pilot goes down, but it's effectively a mixed success. So he'll say, I'll talk to the guys. I don't know if I can bring the whole squad. Some of these, some of the old squad, they were a little rough around the edges. I'd really like to try something different, though.
Crix. Sometimes you can't take everybody with you. Sometimes, though. Do you remember on Talos 4? Do you remember when we came the rogue commander there? Lieutenant Kurtz?
Yeah, I remember Kurtz.
Yes. We had to take him down. Acting like a warlord out there on the Outer Rim.
Yeah.
Where's the difference, Crix? If people have gained a taste for a life of piracy, then they're no longer fit to fly. No longer fit to fly with you or with me.
Okay.
This isn't, I'm not going to lie to you, Crix. This isn't working for the Empire. This isn't standing for order or for protecting, but it's not doing everything that we stood against.
You heard about Zinj, right?
Zinj?
Zinj. Yeah, he's calling himself the warlord of the Empire. He's trying to hold things up together. There's like a whole sliver of space that they call Zinj's Empire now, and I've been thinking about making a run for it, but it's really far away.
I thought about going for the remnant, but too many Republic lines between the here and there. Too many areas of uncontested space of pirates and warlords and
Yeah.
Zinj could be too much of the worst aspects of the Empire, perhaps. I'm not sure, but perhaps together.
Okay. Well, good luck. Maybe I'll see you on the dream. And with that, he'll break off, kind of looking back to a couple other pilots that you vaguely recognize. One of them smoking a death stick, another one just watching you from afar, his hand on his blaster. And it looks like you have gotten through to Crix. He may defect, but he's not going to be able to pull anybody else from his squad.
I think Will is frozen.
Oh, I thought he was being dramatic. Awesome. Let's cut to you guys. We can catch Will up when we get a chance. So you guys have this young pilot. No, it's not young. We're gonna say it's old. It's like an old crusty pilot who there you go. Welcome back, Will.
Yeah, I think my internet's going to be doing that thing where it cuts out every now and again for about like 1 minute. Which is always great.
It ended very dramatic, don't worry.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
I just noticed that you're all very still, and then I'm carrying on talking to myself.
I was talking to you, so we were having a non-conversation. Crix it seems like he's leaning towards defecting with you guys. It's really do you pull the trigger now, or do you want to wait until after you guys have the seeds? But he's not going to pull anybody else from the squad. He just doesn't have the confidence to do so.
Yeah, well, my basic plan was that Crix would be like running interference for us as we fled, you know? Of course, like this is a TIE fighter, right? So is it a TIE with hyperdrive, or is it a TIE?
Oh, I think Crix doesn't have a hyper, like it's sort of the old style TIE.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how they. I guess I'd kind of imagine this syndicate as not really having like a big ship, but just sort of a gang of like TIE pilots, and
oh, that's kind of badass,
you know, and like they sort of just have taken over these freighters as their kind of like temporary base of operations. Whilst
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm there. I'm here for that. That sounds good.
Plus, then that also means that I don't have to like just to like go bye Crix and leave him behind in the middle of a firefight, like because yeah.
Cool.
I was trying to remember the name of the moth that takes over Coruscant, like, and your son Isad kills and stuff like that. Like,
There's a bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Non-canon.
Yeah, all non-canon now.
Yeah. There's a guy named Saint Prestige who stepped in right now, and then there's a guy named Zinj who I am going to be using a little bit of the EU canon for where we're at, but it doesn't matter.
I remember Zinj. He's in the last X-Wing book and in Princess, the one with Dathomir and the
nice.
The one where Han Solo basically kidnaps Princess Leia and tries to woo her, kind of thing.
Crazy.
Sounds weird.
So we'll go with Harem, Hera, or Haram. Haram. I like Haram better. Haram is the freighter pilot you guys have gotten, and he's on the NPCs on row 16. So that's the guy you guys have. He's in his late 30s, early 40s, kind of thin, a little grizzled. He's thankful but pretty quiet, eager to get back, and pretty shaken by watching a couple of his guys get assassinated. And I did not sign up for this. So
none of us did.
Anything you guys want? Where do you go first when you return? I mean, there's going to be people who will be waiting for you in the shuttle bay, of course. What do you say to Ridmar? Because he's going to be the first one that comes up.
Well, it's a start. You got a pilot. One of them is alive, but it's a start with a timer. He set some sort of timer. If we don't do this fast, he might just start killing them one by one.
Are you kidding me? You guys didn't. You didn't seal the deal? I thought, Doro, you said you could do this.
Yeah, it's a process. You never just seal a deal by saying it's an amount of money and then it's done.
Yeah.
You know that.
Well, good luck talking to Yandy. She put a lot of trust in you. She doesn't trust most.
I know. We have an idea, but I don't know if I want to run it through her or through you first.
Right through me.
Because you want to save those people. Well, she less likely wants to save those people.
The only reason she's in on this is because I'm making her, Doro.
Yeah. I look at Queen and Vlas and I'm like, he could be helpful. He is our
the only reason that she hasn't sent Tempest Security out there immediately to destroy those freighters and try and wipe out the Syndicate is because of those people. It's because of our people on there. Raidmar is the only reason that she cares about those freighters at all anymore.
Exactly. Do you agree that he should be on what's been requested? And
so Raidmar, our plan is we're going to get our people back, and then we're going to get payback with the Syndicate.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
The problem is we're going to need some sort of something that they asked for.
So, to step out of character again, the way I can see us, there are two ways I can see us doing our plan, right? And one of them is we go to the Bratva and Tempest together and using Raidmar as backing from this plan, basically. And that is to say, Tempest helps us set up the trap kind of thing, Like maybe that trap is even just like a bunch of ships just suddenly appear at our hyperspace and like start blasting. Who knows, right? But we need Yandy's, getting the Sycorax seed to sort of bait that trap.
I'm not sure we need her.
Well, because we need the seed to get our guys off, because he won't give our guys unless he's got the seed, right?
Can
We
we
have
make a
another
fake seed?
connection to the temple.
Yes, so that is my other thing. Is Vlos can. That's the second option, which is that Vlos could use his thing into the temple to get a seed from the temple people, and then we do all of this behind Yandi's back. But I'm not sure whether doing this behind Yandi's back is just adding an
Tree
extra
is
complication.
holy to Sol Invictus.
Not so holy that they're not selling it as spice. So let's be honest, like, yeah.
Yeah, but they're
Could do
selling
both.
it as spice. They're not giving the seeds into the hands of every criminal.
Yeah, they might be more
in the
likely
verse.
to. They might be more likely to want to save people, though.
So
Maybe we can
just to-
get fake seeds. Do you know what this spice seed looks like? I don't.
Yeah,
How
but
much do you bet that Oberon doesn't know what it looks like?
I think we need
But
to
I bet I
compensate.
can get a fake seed that looks really good if I get the help of the monks.
Well, also, the monks clearly work with Yandy. Yandy's the top of this whole tree, right? We're working for Yandy. It's a question of, do we do things officially, right, which involves all of the resources that they could possibly bring to us, or do we do things completely unofficially, which I'm not sure what the benefit of that is, unless the officially we can't do it. You know,
We do both.
like we do both. Vlos,
Of course we do both.
Go steal some while we go ask Yandy for some, and that way we have two sets of seeds and we can do what we like. Like
Exactly.
Well, I'm
That's
not
called-
going to ask the monks to give me the actual seeds.
Yeah, just a fake one.
yeah,
Just
but I mean, I think
fakes.
that's something that everybody would. But what I'm saying is that I think that the Bratva and the leadership of Prospero's dream would be more than willing to go along with this plan as we pitch it to them, which is to say that Oberon's not going to settle for anything less than the Sycorax seas, but if you get those union workers killed, the union's going to go on strike and the whole thing's off. Here's our plan. We get rid of Oberon, tying into what Tempest Security wants, which is not what Yandy officially told us to do. Tempest Security gave me that mission. But like we've come up with a plan that satisfies all four parties involved on our station. We've got the union workers satisfied by us rescuing them. We've got Yandy satisfied by taking care of her problem. We've got Tempest Security satisfied by getting rid of Oberon permanently. And we've got the priest satisfied by trying to come up with some sort of fake seed, or, you know, like, and
Not
that way,
giving the
like,
seeds.
we're all meshed in rather than,
So
you know what I mean?
We use the fake seed to try to get alone time with Oberon. Is that or to
No,
get the negotiations going?
So the seed,
and get
the seed is our only leverage with Oberon to even give our pilots back. You know, so what we do is we give them the seed, they get the pilots onto the shuttle, and then we space the freighter, or we kill Oberon. We do something that kills Oberon, right? Like in whatever Star Warsy plot devicey way we can do, which like I say,
I have a good idea.
It could be that the Sycorax seed is actually filled with this bioagent. It could be that we've got a thermal detonator hidden there. It could just be that like we've managed to hide a proton torpedo launcher on the shuttle, and as I leave the bay, I just fire it into the hangar and explode the whole thing. You know, like there are millions of options in Star Wars for how we could do this.
It's so true. There are options.
we slice into the Navi computer so that it hyperjumps into a star. You know, like there's a million things.
My idea is I stay with the box of the fake seeds with him while you like take all of these people and take them back, and then when I open the box for him, I shoot him in the face.
Oh, cool! I'll give you my holdout blaster and you shoot him in the face. Yeah,
there you go.
And then you run, being pursued by blaster bolts from the rest of his crew, onto the ramp of the shuttle, and we leg it out of there.
Supposedly, I'll have to run.
Why are you sacrificing yourself?
Who says I'm sacrificing myself?
He's just doing a daring Star Wars getaway.
Like... No. I'm doing a daring evil person trying to take over.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to try and take over the syndicate? Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm happy with all things, but do we agree that we should go to the official route rather than like try and
official route is first.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay,
go to
so
Yandy.
you brought this back. You spoke to Redmar. You want to
Yeah.
use Redmar to talk to Yandy with your plan. So you head back with Redmar from the hangar, taking the you'll take a lift, and I think a cool place for you to go to meet with Yandy. Where would she be?
A bio break.
Yeah, that's a good
sounds
idea.
good.
Let's take a quick bio break.
Please.
It's 8 minutes after. Let's take a 7-minute break, so we'll meet at quarter after. See you guys in 7 minutes.
Thank you.
Like wondering just how we're going to end this with Vlad still infected with it, because we're not going to deal with that infection thing. That infection thing is just going to be carrying on in the background of Prospero's dream, right? Like, there's no way we're going to do both things.
I think when I go for my plan was when I go for the seed conversation to spill the beans about the the disease and the whole thing to the monk and tell him how in the face of this being invoking the name of Sol Invictus drove him back, and that whatever he is, he can't stand the light of the sun. So I'm gonna kind of turn it into a holy war.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was wondering if Lars was going when Ares was like, "Oh, you could just, like Quinn should just go off and like stay behind and kill Oberon." I was like, "That's clearly what the infected crew member should do."
Yeah.
Like,
but who knows? I could I'm almost at maximum calm, so I could, maybe walk the path of Revan somehow.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, that's not canon, right?
The force is with me. Just whisper that as you go. Yeah. I hope sorry to take us all out of character and be like, should we agree on like a broad plan rather than thing like the whole kind of like shepherding, like Rich said, like sorry if that's stepping on anyone's toes or anything. I just like to sort of not all pull in different directions as we go forward.
No, I'm all about a meta conversation to keep the party on the same page, because
I mostly Doro just listened to Quinn saying like that once that guy is dead, they will have no leadership. So
yeah,
that's why he wants to become it.
Can I ask Rich, what's the name of your dog?
His name is Beaker.
Beaker. Oh, I was really hoping for some obscure Star Wars reference in there.
I got a Muppet name in the son, the 14-year-old record. So that was him and the wife, and I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll go with Beaker. That's good.
And
yeah, Star Wars name would be fun, but it would have to be like Wedge,
Wedge, yeah. Oh, who is a great cameo.
I'm
yeah.
By the way, Rich, I apologize. I believe I may have on a couple of occasions called you Tom, but that's because of the frog.
And I'm okay with that. That's awesome. Oh, it's funny.
And you didn't even react, actually. You just responded.
Brain. Yeah, no arguments here. I do so love Dr. Tom. That is awesome. It's been a long time since Dr. Tom's done stuff, but that's nice. I'm not Tom. I love with it. It's fine. Okay, so you guys have had a conversation. It looks like everybody's on the same page. That's good. So let's pick up with you guys arriving at the court, because I really find the court fascinating. When you head into the court, of course, is the trial by combat legal system that they have on Prospero's Dream. There are little data pad links for how to become an advocate, how to become an executioner. There are throngs of spectators, a thick stench of body odor and smoke, all kinds of side betting. But then, of course, there's a huge leaderboard up with all of the most powerful advocates and executioners. There's an elevated revolving stage fenced in with electrified wiring. that dominates the center of the court. In the middle of the cage, a platform which raises up the accused from the security checkpoint below in the holding cells. You guys see that there is an individual who is currently fighting for their life against a very confident-looking executioner. And as all of this is happening, you guys are coming in with Reedmar. You are headed up towards the skyboxes where Yandy sits with her her favorite, Brunhild, who is not the executioner here. As you guys are doing that, there are a couple of alerts that come over your comm units. Reminders that the Canyon Heavy Market is currently closed for renovations. And that it's a nice veneer of planned renovations, improving Canyon Heavy Market, and talks about different zero-G installations that will be placed in. But Flaws, you have the feeling that perhaps that's not exactly what they're telling you. You guys also, from your vantage point, as you are headed up to the nosebleeds and the skyboxes, you catch a whiff of musty animal odor and look down into the cages of the pit, because sometimes certain accused have to fight animals. And I think perhaps there's a young Rancor located down in there, as well as a few Gundark in one of the sets of cages, because we need to have a Rancor sighting at least once a year in my game. So this is that one. That's our cameo, guys. Other people have Wedge. I've got a Rancor. So you come up to the VIP area where you see Yandy, a number of security, Brunhild, and it's very, VIP room. So you've got this one whole wall that is a single window looking down onto the cage where you can see the fight that's now taking place. Yandy doesn't seem super interested in it. Brunhild, though, she is observing the fight. She seems aware of other things going on, but there's a certain more than professional interest she takes in the fight that's taking place in court. Yandy looks over, sees Reedmar, and that changes her demeanor as she looks at the three of you. I've already heard that you were able to secure one of the Union members' safety. Congratulations to the three of you. However, I also received a new threat from Oberon. Seems that the timing is continuing. This is disappointing.
We have a plan.
What is the plan?
Well, Oberon doesn't really want the money. What he wants, as you probably knew before, is the thing you make the money from. He really wants it.
Let's see.
We should give it to him with a little extra.
Okay, so you want access to the Sycorax.
The Sycorax seed, in fact.
That's not going to work.
Well, we clearly didn't come to you expecting you to hand over the keys to the kingdom. But how about, as my friend says, a little extra return on our investment, say in the form of a thermal detonator or whatever devices we have available to us. You won't be holding the seed for very long, is what I'm intending.
Brunhild's eyes are drawn when she hears the words thermal detonator. She glances over, meets eyes with Yandy. Yandy gives her a Slight nod. I think someone needs to impress Yandy that you have the chutzpah to pull this off.
Well, I totally have chutzpah because I'm an Israeli. I mean, come
there
on.
you go.
We invented the word.
Do the dice agree?
Yeah, I'll roll the 2 dice and I'll add calm. Like, I will also risk calm.
Nice. Seems appropriate. Wow.
5-5. That was calming.
Your calm really paid off there. She crosses her arms, says, Raidmar, are you okay with the risk of this? Raidmar says, no, the offer that you made isn't really going to get things done. They're not going to take the credits. These 3 have at least got their foot in the door. I'm willing to risk it. Yandy says, all right.
And if he dares to kill any more, he dies anyway.
She glances over at Quint at the he dies anyway, just for a moment. Vlaz, as all of this is taking place, the sound of the sounds, of course, coming in from the fight and the announcer talking through everything and the scoreboards lighting, flashing up, the conversations happening here in the room, but everything starts to fade and dull a little bit, and you hear that voice, the voice of Caliban, who loves you again. He says, you've done so very well, Vlaz. So well, very, very well helping me. This place could be our new home. This station. We should work together. You could have a new family here. Vlaz, wouldn't you like that? I could fashion a new daughter for you. A new wife for you to love.
I think I get almost physically sick at that suggestion. I'm going to see if I can do a repeat of the last time.
Oh, you want to stave it off again, huh?
Yeah, all right. What should I risk in this? Well, first of all, the challenge is calm, and then I have to risk something, right?
Yeah, I think you're going to need to risk some vigor because this thing is weakening you.
That sounds right.
Watching those dice for them to change. Oh, wow. Ooh. Man, the red die's loving you guys.
Nice. So that's a middling hit. Yeah.
Yep. So I think just because we're in third session, I'm going to go ahead and mark on your vigor. It's weakening you, but you're able to push away the voice. What is the thought that you carry that you use to push Caliban away from you for another time?
I have an image of Jersa, my daughter, and the because he mentioned a repulsive replacement that brought her to mind, and I see her as, it's just shining with the bursting with the radiance of the sun, and striking the darkness and pushing it back and driving it away.
Nice.
I don't know, and maybe I have to say something also, or just
I like that.
so I make people aware that something's going wrong with me. So yeah, I do some kind of exclamation of Solar Invictus as I drive it out of my head. And I don't know if how that's going to make them react.
Very cool. And I think Quint, you hear Vlaw is kind of muttering some incantations, or not invocations to Sol Invictus. You see a little bit of stress. You see that he's starting to sweat. You know he's sick.
Clearly affecting his mind.
Obviously.
It's going full on to these old-time religions, which is Sith, superstitious Sith nonsense.
Yeah, and he says, yes, I will provide you with some seeds that you can use to get your people back. Reedmar, as long as you trust these three, although I have to say, a little worried about the Chiss. Is he well? Doro?
Still wearing his spacesuit, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Just a bit of a space flu. It's been an ongoing thing. It's nothing new. Is it?
I'm displaying my military training, I think, in ability to look, ship shape and bristle clean, and shove a ramrod up the back of your uniform, and try to look sharp, and maybe I don't know. I don't think it's. Do I
think
need
you're
to
trying to
convince him? I think
I think
I'm
so.
trying to convince him without words.
I think so. You're trying to convince him without words, but I think Yandy's watching you closely as well. I'd like to see if you pull this off before to allay their suspicions. So you can roll 2d6. Would you like to risk anything?
Is there a way to help him? Because I'm risking too, because I said that nothing is wrong.
That's true. Well, if you want to be the one, there's no real helping role per se. So
I could
one
risk
of the
something
two
of my own.
Yeah, you could risk something of your own. That works for me.
I mean, for you, he's a red die. I could risk well, I am kind of his manager, and I could risk administration for a change.
So I'm doing face with 2 dice, and you're adding the red die, and if the red die comes,
yeah, I'll do some
It's Doro that takes the risk. Oh, that's cute. Let's do it.
Okay. So do you want me to roll all 3 dice, or do you want me to just select the 2 that I'm rolling?
No, you roll all of them. If I lose something, it's on you.
Okay. Wow. All right. Well, a 9 isn't terrible, and you didn't lose your face. But it looks like, whoa, what did I make the screen go away? Looks like it's a half hit.
A mixed success on a 7 to 9. You get what you want, but pay the cost. There we go. Knocking down
So
some
that
vigor.
would be face, right?
Yep.
No, the vigor was from
right.
before.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had done from before.
I forgot to click it.
So you're down to just 1 left in face and 1 left in vigor. Oh my, this does not look awesome. So Yandy will say, my understanding is that your Tis friend, she turns to you. The laws, you are interested in the Solarian Church. Perhaps I will authorize you to obtain some of the seeds.
I will drop the name of the monk that I spoke to, and say that I'll be happy to go speak to him, and I'm sure he'll be able to work something out for me.
Speak with Iola. Tell him that I am amenable to your plan. It will save some lives. She glances over to Raidmar. And then your second step of your plan will take care of this problem that threatens us. I must warn you, 3. Please stay away from Canyon Heavy Market. There is a bit of a flu, similar to your sickness, possibly, maybe. Something going on around, so be careful.
I think that's not under control, I assume.
Of course.
Good.
In terms of step 2 of our plan, now, Doro, do you want to hold out Blaster and execute Oberon? Because I feel as though like maybe they've got some backstory with him on planet, right? Like this
Of
is
course.
the comeuppance that he always had coming.
He was the Imperial human who controlled a planet of Togruta and made them suffer. Of course, I have some history with him.
Then I'm happy with that. Otherwise, I was going to say let's go to Tempest and see if we can get hold of a thermal detonator or something. But,
I mean, we could do both.
I mean,
if
we
one
can have a
fails.
thermal detonator as well, right? Like, or a proton torpedo fitted to the ship or something like that. Like, yeah. But okay, I'll give you the holdout blaster. You can have my holdout blaster from my gear.
Redundancies. People.
Yeah. And okay. So yeah.
Cool.
We'll go get that sorted while Vloz is sorting out the space seats, the Sycorax seats.
Yes.
And we'll all continue not to mention this plague that.
I mean, sure. That's a good plan. That way works as well as anything. Cool. So you head down, Vloz, to the farm, as it's called, where the Solarian Church holds sway. And sure enough, before long, you're able to head into the Sun Market, passing by the sanctuary to the Sun Market, where you find your old Twi'lek friend, Aola Blancuna. Aola is there meeting with a few people. He notices you, notices the suit that you're wearing, perhaps sees a bit of your distress, and comes over. Vloz, you don't look well.
I'm not, and neither is this station in a lot of different directions. I need your help in more ways than one. One is officially for Yancey, and the other has to do with my condition and what's happening down in the market.
We're aware of a particular virus that seems to be bioorganic in nature.
So I'm going to look to see if I have all the names written down so I don't mess this up. But I'm going to spill the whole beans about Caliban and his relation to the doctor and his daughter Aria, and that he was doing work for the babushka, and I'm going to spill on the chop shop too, even though I know that can come back to me because this
Ooh, you're breaking your bond. Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. And explain about this sentient being that on 2 different occasions I was able to drive his influence out of my head by invoking Soul Invictus. And I'll give detailed explanations of how it felt and how the first time it happened when I was over on the other ship, I was more in control and it was much easier. And then the second time, how much harder it was, and how my symptoms got worse immediately afterwards.
He listens patiently and says, Tempest Security is doing their very best to contain those people who are found to be infected. They're calling it acute cybernetic mutagenic disorder, ACMD. Several of the people afflicted have said that it was a voice in their head. It was Caliban. Is this Caliban? That's who's speaking to you?
Yes. And he's trying to seduce me, like, from a place of darkness. And it's why the light of the stars drive him back.
You know that I am praying for you. But I am
I
also
think
very...
I need more help from Soul Invictus. I need to commit myself to his service.
Yes. Yes, in your darkest hour, you want the light of the suns. Of course. Will you come with me? I will place a bindi upon you. I believe the Sol Invictus, that the sun's light will protect me. And it will heal you too. Please know that everyone else who's been infected by this virus so far has mutated and changed. But the belief that you have, it seems to be helping you. Yes, I will happily help you. And with that, he'll escort you into some private chambers and he'll perform a ritual on you, attempting to burn a bindi into your skull. Do you accept this? The grace of Sol Invictus?
Of course I do.
Nice. Yeah, so that is an altogether painful experience. However, there's a certain amount of like euphoria that happens as the pain reaches to a point where all of the endorphins start to kick in and it fades away. And I will allow you to restore one of your 2 core vitals from this scene. What would you like to restore, your face or your vigor?
Vigor. I think it physically heals me.
Nice. Nice. So you are feeling stronger. The bindi is helping to keep Caliban's voice at bay along with your own mental will. But yeah, that's a thing that happens. So you now have this cool little shining bindi in your skull, and you can come back and meet with the others with 3 Sycorax seeds. They are about the size of like a small, like, handball.
So do I think that I can make a fake one that contains a thermal detonator and shield the thermal detonator from being detected?
Okay, with a 10, I'll let you make a roll. With a 10 plus, you can manufacture one in short order that you think would fool these guys. On a 7 to 9, you're going to have to you kind of slapdash and drill into a Sycorax seed to place a thermal detonator. Seem fair?
Okay. And so I'll bring that plan back to the rest of the group when they're done with their things.
You can just make a roll to see which of the two you can pull off.
Okay.
And then if you wanted to use your mechanical engineer background, that'd probably work.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
Wow.
These dice love you guys too much. Too much love.
It's not like we're going to need all the higher dice rolls in a few minutes, right?
I mean, yeah, you probably will, and they will abandon you when you most need it.
I mean,
yeah.
I have the original thing as a model to work from. And
That's
so
awesome.
that's great.
Cool. So where does Vlaus find Quint and Doro? You guys were.
Do I come to you after you're done with your missions, or do you want to go do your missions knowing?
Well, I mean, as far as missions go, personally, I think it's just acquiring some form of explosive, whether that's smuggled into the Sycorax seed container, or whether it's a hidden proton torpedo launch, like a one-shot tube added to the shuttle that I fire as we leave the thing. But the plan is that basically, you know, Doro is going to get his dramatic "this is for my home planet" kind of moment with Oberon, and then we're going to blow everything up so that there's no, get rid of the seeds as well, basically, like. Because I don't feel like we can just shoot Oberon and then leave behind the seeds and flee, right? Because that kind of undermines our whole thing. So, yeah, I mean, I also figure that, like, the reasoning is that if we blow up the shuttle, the ship, then some of those TIE fighters are docked there and blah, blah, blah. And, they can't, it'll be harder for them to shoot us down, etc., etc.
I mean, but if the TIE fighters chase you, only an ace pilot could get you guys away. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, it's going to be the difference between 10 of them and 5 of them, let's say. Like,
Are we gonna have maybe security backup fighter support, air support?
I think maybe it's cooler if it's just us and Crix, maybe. Like,
Okay.
Crix swoops in and saves us at the last moment from the TIE pilot that's fighting behind us. But
Nice.
the main reason I want to blow up the ship as well is so that we get that shot of one of the TIEs coming to, like, undock from the ship and chase us. And as it's grazing, the ship explodes, taking the TIE fighter with it as we shoot up into space. Like,
We need to come with just like a pass the stick storytelling of like what crazy action sequence just happens right now.
Exactly, yeah.
In case we'll roll dice so we can, all feel justified that we can help with a cool new action sequence.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I don't know. What do you, Eris, do you have a preference? We shoot something, or we fill how big are the Sycorax seeds? We're talking like we'd have a crate of them, right?
Like this big is how big a Sycorax seed is.
Yeah, so maybe that's hidden. Maybe that's got the hidden explosives in, right? Like,
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, cool.
Probably have like a suitcase of some sort.
Well,
Yeah.
I was able to make a replica of one of the seeds that we
Which is
put the thermal detonator inside of it.
Oh,
So,
okay. We don't actually have a seed, so I definitely want to blow this thing up, though. Is what I'm saying. I want explosions. So, like, yeah.
do we want to give him the real seeds, or
No,
do I
we'll
just
give him
go in with the one fake seed?
We'll give him the fake seeds. Perhaps, like, the whole reason is that it would also be a, like a blasphemy to just blow up one of the seeds. Like,
Right.
the Solvictus people wouldn't like just get rid of a seed and destroy it when it could have given so much, kind of thing. So now we have a fake seed but we're also going to blow things up to cover our escape.
Yeah, you need explosions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, our mission is go to Tempest Security, explain the plan, get some explosives, come back to the ship. I feel like I'm happy to have just done that in the
Cool.
background kind of thing, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that as well. Yeah, so let's just pick up with you guys meeting up. You see Flaws. Flaws seems healthy enough. If I think maybe he doesn't even need the spacesuit anymore, because I think that would be kind of a cool thing. You see
Yeah.
the nice shining bendy. He's accepted the light of Sol Invictus.
Feeling better for us?
Yes, much.
I sure hope so.
And have Q Team been informed of some of the developments that we've come across? Because I can't help but notice that Canyon Heavy has gone dark shortly after your visit there.
We've the church is working on a cure.
Have faith. Is that your response? Okay, fine, indeed. Well, let's hope there's a station to come back to once we get this done.
He's your favorite. Let's go do this before we lose another pilot.
Cool. So we see you guys taking off on the same shuttle as before. There's a little countdown at the bottom of how much time is left before the next member of the Union is assassinated to make Oberon's crazy point. You guys arrive. Crix Alcyon is there with the security team that checks you guys over. And I assume, Quint, you still have your holdout blaster, and you have the Sycorax seed, which has the... Oh, that's right. You've handed over to Doro.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Sycorax seed, which is manufactured to look just like a Sycorax seed these guys have never seen before. You run a scanner over it, and you got a 10 plus, so it passes scans. That is carried in with the three of you.
I'm holding it.
You're
I'm
holding
gonna
it.
hold
Oh,
the
okay.
suitcase. Oh, of course.
Okay. All right. Cool. So
I
you
mean,
guys come in.
At the first opportunity, Quint's going to go and get the shuttle ready. Like, you know, like we want
I
our
don't
men.
see why
We want our
Yeah.
men and we want to leave immediately, kind of thing. You know, like have
Mhm.
the engine hot and ready to go, basically. So I'm even happy just to be sat in the shuttle waiting in the Chewbacca role or the C-3PO role, perhaps.
The C-3PO role. Nice. Cool. So Doro and Vlaz, the two of you come in. Oberon immediately notices Vlaz, but we'll say that like one of the security team asked about, oh, you got over that cold, and so he notices the Bindi as well, but casts it aside. Stupid Solarians. And then he says, oh, Doro, it seems that you are not as incompetent as I'd feared. You got me the Sycorax seed.
Yeah, I keep hold on this until all of our pilots are free. And I put my hands on the suitcase.
Cool. Yeah, so make a face roll, because he may just want to kill you right now and take the Sycorax seed.
I will risk calm as well then.
All right.
Yeah, you guessed correctly there. That's a 3.
No. Oh, just hand that over now. Here's the thing, Doro. I have what I want. You have no more leverage over me.
How many people are inside this place? Except for
Oh.
us and him?
So there are the 8 remaining Union members, him, and we'll say like 15 TIE fighter pilots and support crew, his pirate crew.
All inside the room we're at?
Oh, no. Sorry, I misunderstood your question.
Yeah.
How many others? So I'll say he's got like one lackey who's there, who's got a blaster carbine standing in the back, because he just likes looking tough, and guys with guns standing behind you look tough. So there's a thing.
Does he look like a former stormtrooper? Does he have military discipline? or is this just like
He
Someone
rose up
picked
through the
up.
ranks, so he was never a stormtrooper. He attended Imperial Academy though, so he's had military training.
I mean,
so when Doro
I
makes
haven't
his
seen
move,
him.
my plan is going for keep the lackey out of the way. So I'm gonna
Okay.
keep the lackey busy. Maybe try to
Well-
take his gun off him or something.
Just to be clear, I just filled my last phase because
Oh,
it has not
nice.
updated for a while.
Oh, good to know. Phil to disgrace.
Yeah,
That's
I don't even know what it means.
What does that mean? Yeah, so it just means hold on, we'll just jump through and make sure because I've never seen it, so I want to make sure.
Your word loses value and you can no longer make deals.
Yeah.
Ah,
There you
well.
go.
Now, you are holding
Yeah, I know.
two different devices that can be used as either leverage or retaliation. So
Yeah.
No
Here's
more
the
deals.
deal. Yeah, but yeah, the deals are done. Like he has said, yeah, I've got your Sycorax seed, and now you're going to die, is what he has pronounced. Vlaz, you're there. Guy with blaster carbine seems like he's going to be doing the dirty work. Vlaz, I assume you're close enough to try to do a thing. Let's see. What do you?
Yeah, I think being a superior chiss and an actual stormtrooper, I'm able to elbow him in the nose and disarm him.
All right, let's put it to a roll. Would you like to
Yeah.
risk something to see if you can pull this off?
Yeah, I want to risk whatever needs risking. They're definitely bigger, right? Is the normal challenge.
Seems
right?
appropriate.
And I think
And I will take out the holdout blaster.
even
while
though
he
I
does
was mentioning my military background,
Mhm.
it's mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe I should risk calm so I stay cool in the face
Sure.
of a physical. So let's see what happens.
Come on, dice.
Oh,
Oh
I
man,
got scared there for a second.
I did
thought
too.
I was
I saw
keeping
the-
the same roll.
I saw the one. You know.
Wow.
That became 11.
So what does it look like when you charge this guy with a blaster carbine and do you disarm him? What does that
Yeah,
look like?
I grabbed the barrel of his gun with my left hand and my right elbow smacks him in the nose. So I break his nose and knock him aside, and then I put the gun on Oberon. And
Yeah,
Cool. So
I aim the holdout blaster.
yeah, I want Doro to have a moment. So let's say that Vlaz, you are able to approach a blaster bolt, fires over your shoulder. You slam him in the nose, and you're in the process of disarming him. And then we come to Doro as Oberon looks at that, and then he looks back at you.
He has a gun to his face, and I'm like, give the order to release the people.
Oh yeah, I see. He's trying to cut a deal though.
That's not a deal. I'm gonna shoot if he doesn't. I'm gonna shoot regardless.
I think you're gonna shoot if he does. I think it's let's go ahead and have you make a roll to see if he is just gonna go for it and try to attack you. It's not a face roll. Let's see if you got the calm to pull off this intimidation.
Let's
not a
try
deal.
calm. I'm not risking anything. I don't think I can risk anything in particular. Maybe
Roll
the gun.
2d6 then.
Ooh,
No, I'm not
risk
risking the gun.
You could risk,
No, it's he could,
ammo in
like,
the gun, I don't know. Or the gun's integrity.
yeah, I could risk the guns and the ammo. I could risk an ammo, like shoot. If he doesn't agree, I'll like shoot.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Warning. There you go. Let's fail this miserably.
Warning right here.
Oh no, it's 11.
Wow, good thing you risked something. I went from a mixed success to a blazing success. So he starts to call over the comms to release the folks. We cut to Quinn, and you see a couple of the TIE fighter pilots, including Crix, are escorting the remaining 8 folks onto your shuttle.
yeah, and
For them to join us.
I nod at Crix like meaningfully as we
He nods slowly, and then he kind of peels off of the detail that was escorting the guys and starts making his way to his TIE fighter.
Yeah, and I load the ramp. I wave them all on board, and
They quickly get on board, all tired and stressed out and sweaty.
I look down at the remote detonator switch that we added into the cockpit for the comlink.
I know, like it's right there in the comms room. And Vlaz, you've disarmed, taken down the guy who's in the room. Doro, you have a gun on Oberon. He has his hands to the side, and then he just crosses them because he's going to try to still look kind of badass. And he says, "So, you have your spaces. I have my Sycorax seed. You may leave."
Yes. You will never say I was not a man of my word. I take down the gun. And we leave.
I'm sure that surprised Flaws. Or maybe not, because you kind of know what's in the Sycorax seed. Oberon, though, he buys it. And he stays in his room, and he's got the suitcase, he's got the Sycorax seed.
I was never a murderous person like you.
And the two of you guys make your way back to the shuttle and quickly get on board. It's a TIE fighter taking off. Yes?
Give a signal to Crix that a signal that Quint maybe gave me from their old squad to let him know that it's go time.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
So that he can get out.
Yeah, he's already Quint and him had a quick conversation as well. Did. So that confirmation tells him he can go ahead and take off. So the TIE fighter screams out of the hangar.
Can I even say that, like, perhaps Oberon on the comm says, give our guests an escort on the way out. And Crix takes off with another TIE fighter to like.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome. Oh yeah, that sounds terrible. Yeah, so they're gonna escort you guys out of there. And that's when, ooh, I love that. Thank you. Well, thank you for that gift. It's like a late Christmas present. Thank you very much. So yes, there are a pair of TIE fighters that escort you guys out, screaming on either side of the shuttle. You've got the Union workers all huddled down in the bay. There aren't enough really seatbelts, so they're just kind of sitting there in the bay. And yeah, if you blow up the ship, you'll take out the syndicate, but then you've got a TIE fighter, possibly two, to deal with. What do you do?
Well, I look over at Doro in the co-pilot seat and I say, "Punch it, Administrator."
Gladly. Press.
I'd like to see the flashback of the moment as Oberon is like looking at his victory with the seed in his hand.
Yeah, so we cut, and he's got like a little scalpel type thing, and he's slowly shaving off pieces of the edge of the Sycorax. And
there's
then
a beep.
There's a beep, and he's a slightly odd look on his face, and then we cut out to like the view of the glass as the explosion starts in the conference room, and it's a chain reaction of explosions because it's a thermal detonator, right? And so people are getting vented into space, and everything's going crazy there, and who knows why, but it's Star Wars, so the ship starts listing because that's what ships always do. Like, it makes no sense, but it's always a nice sign that thing is going down. Is it physically goes down in a zero-G environment. And that's when the TIE fighter that isn't Crix kind of pulls back and lets you guys go ahead so that it can fire upon you.
And I imagine that's a TIE fighter roll to TIE fighter pilot roll.
I think it is 100% a TIE fighter roll that you should risk here.
I look at Quinn and I say, I hope I chose the right pilot, if you recall.
Well, he rolled a 12, so he did.
What?
There you go.
And I think, I think that as it pulls back, it lines up its shot, and then it's just like a lazy like barrel roll out of the way, like the shot's just like pinwheeling straight between the wings and the struts.
Yeah. And it tries to strafe you, and you get out of the way.
I just lead him like straight into the front of Crix, and I'm like over the comms like, anytime now.
Yeah, and then Crix, because he falls in line, right? He like sips in and he wingmans you and pops in and gets right behind the TIE fighter, and we cut into him and we see the TIE fighter mask, and he's like, I'm sorry. And he takes out the other TIE fighter and then flies through the wreckage, because that never causes a problem. Flying through the wreckage of the thing you just blew up, it's always okay in Star Wars. And he follows and finishes the escort of getting you guys back to Prospero's dream.
That went swimmingly.
That went way too well. That's amazing. So you guys arrive back on Prospero's station. You land in Reedmar, and a bunch of the Union reps are all there. It's all kinds of fellow engineers are there celebrating. And yeah, I don't think Gady's gonna come visit with you. You did the thing. You're like, it's fine. But Cutter is there, Quint. And he'll gesture for you to come meet with him. Cutter being the commander of the Tempest Company.
Yeah. I radio ahead, of course, to come ahead to get the TIE fighter docking permission.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're not going to fire on the. You guys took care of that. That's fine. Yeah. Crix is there with the celebrating people, looking around like, wow, this is crazy. This docking bay, all this different alien species he's got to deal with. But, you give him strength. Cutter, though, he meets with you. You took out Oberon.
Yes, sir.
Good. I'm a man of my word. You're a member of the Tempest Company. You'll need to leave your post with the Union. You can't serve two masters.
That makes sense, sir. However, I would hope that our interests align in some areas.
Of course.
I would be happy to act as a security detail or a pilot for either of my two companions. They have proven themselves reliable.
They have.
I have one request, though, sir. The pilot who came in with us, Crix. I served with him in the 181st. He brings his own TIE pilot with hyperdrive capabilities. He'd be a useful asset to the station.
All right, let's see if you convince him. With the 10+, he's going to bring him into Tempest on your say-so on a 7 to 9. He'll have to earn his way in, but he'll get strong consideration on a miss.
That is a 9. I hate it. Rolled a 10, and then it did that thing where like one of the dice touches. Yeah,
I hate that. It's like you get your hopes up. He'll have to earn his way in, just like you did. But your word will get him a foot in the door.
Well, I think that's all he's been looking for, sir.
He did assist with this operation.
Yes, he did do. Yeah.
Shut down one of his own. Cool. So I'm curious, Doro, once you had a chance to take over the syndicate perhaps, but that's not worked out. You did successfully negotiate this. You got your vengeance on Operon, who subjugated your many people and made you do terrible things to Garuda. Mm-hmm. What are you doing now?
Doro's going to go back home as the guy who killed Oberon.
Nice. So
yes.
I know it's a bit early, but it kind of feels like this is like a part where we should go to epilogues.
We're not going to
start another mission.
Fix the station's problems in this remaining time, right? So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So just as a kind of overarching, inspired by the success that they had with Flaws, the Solarians will start offering up potential cures for ACMD. It's going to abate, but there will be a number of people who die. It was a small plague. but they're able to stave off the spread of the virus throughout Prospero's dream. And some of the people are just dropped down to Doptown because why not? And so I'm curious. Let's do a couple of epilogues. So Doro, what's the epilogue? What do we see for your return to the Togruta homeworld, or at least the world where you you can at least claim you killed Oberon Callus? What does that look like?
And I even have official papers that said it. So he's probably very worried when he gets off, like, because he was Imperial at that time, but he basically killed the man who tortured so many of his people. So he goes off the shuttle that takes him to his own planet, I assume. And he expects to, he wonders what he will see when he lands. Like, will there be people waiting to see the guy who killed Oberon or not?
I think the initial reaction is unexpected in that it's like he just arrives on a shuttle and he's in the planet. It's like word came ahead of him. And then maybe there's a reporter, a Togruta reporter, who has done a little bit of her homework, and she comes and interviews Doro, and then the word goes out through the whole net about Oberon, and Oberon was killed, and he was a member of the Syndicate. And then you start to get a little bit of following, and all of a sudden Doro doesn't have to pay for meals at places, and maybe he doesn't not key to the city, but this appreciation. There's still this mixed bit of you are Imperial, and then
he gets into politics.
Exactly, he gets into politics, and he's Doro starts running for office, and Holonet reporter from before, she's the person who does the interview, the puff piece that gets your name out there. And in the first democratic election after the fall of the Empire, Doro is
the new Republic Senate, right? Like, they need a senator from Taruga now. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you'll be the senator from Shili, the homeworld of Togruta.
Hopefully, we don't know if I won the elections, but
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. We'll epilogue it with you running for it. Oh wow, I'm super curious. What is the epilogue that we see for Vlaz?
Vlaz and a couple of acolyte monks joining the Q team as they burst into the chop shop and arrest
The babushka?
The babushka, and then Vlaz going through all that ancient technology, trying to come up with a weapon to go out and do battle with Caliban.
Nice.
So using his own origin, and and maybe I'll have to get the band back together in the future when we go to take Caliban out with some ancient cybernetic thing. I don't know, MacGuffin.
That is crazy. So you're like this Solarian paladin. I love that.
Yeah.
Crazy. Space paladin. I love it. That is cool. And what is the epilogue that we see for pilot Quint?
I think we see Quint. We see ships making like a convoy of ships traveling towards another space station, and then a group of ramshackled TIE fighters and Z95s and stuff suddenly come out from behind the moon and start doing strafing runs in the convoy, and you can see people jump being blown away and calling for mayday, mayday, we need help, the nearest Republic base is 12 parsecs away, we'll never make it in time. And then just out of hyperspace comes zoom in a pair of TIE interceptors, and with the Tempest security written on the side, and it's Crix and Quint, and they go we just barrel roll in, basically everything. Tempest security is here, stand down, we will be, and we just start doing strafing runs on the whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Yes, exactly where Quint always wanted to be, and now you've got your wingman, Crix. That is awesome. Well, yeah, this took some turns, but it got very Star Warsy near the end. That will bring to a close our third and final session of Ghost Orbit, friends. Real quick, we're all good if I post this one. Yep, we said so at the beginning, but just double checking because stuff happened. Cool. If you guys, yeah, absolutely. It's real quick. Let's do a couple stars and wishes for like future runs of Ghost Orbit, or wishes for the characters that you met. Any particular characters you're like, oh, I'd like to see that person in a future Star Wars Saturday somehow. So would like to go first for stars and wishes. Cool. Marco, go for it.
Well, Rich, first of all, for running this for us and for taking the good notes, so that when my memory wasn't doing so good as I was getting ready to come on, and that you had that document prepared, made it much easier for me to fall right back into it, and I appreciate it. I really like the way Will was able to pull us into not only like the same age, but help us come up with a Star Warsy feel. Like it felt like, you know, we were part of the Star Wars universe when we finished that up, and that was pretty awesome. And as far as a wish for Vlaz, yeah, maybe he could be the quest giver or something for a future endeavor going after Caliban, where he needs some daring adventurers to go and help set up get the codes.
Dude, the whole idea of a Solarian paladin is just like firing in my brain like crazy. It's kind of Star Warsy, and it's kind of just a regular space fantasy, and it's super crazy.
It's kind of interesting because I'm currently playing Pathfinder.
Oh yeah,
not Pathfinder,
Starfinder. Nice.
Starfinder. I'm not playing a Solarian, but it is built to mimic a Jedi in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps making me associate the faith in Sol Invictus having some Force-like quality.
Nice. Cool. Thank you very much, Marco. Will, what about you? Stars and wishes?
I mean, I love that Vlas got so much into the, this. I think like out of all of us of the stations kind of thing, Vlas was the one who got most involved in the actual station plot, and like not just because they got infected, but because they went down the whole Solarian, Sol Invictus kind of religion and faith and things like that. So, and I feel that kind of like ties really in with like the old Sith and Exar Kunny type sort of stories in Star Wars, like the ghosts of the things that came before, like rather than the. I love that was part of our thread overall, and with Doro managing to negotiate with everything, and then
that's crazy.
Yeah. I like that we could all come together and do our make all of our things mutual goals, but have different motivations for doing so. I like that. That was good.
Cool.
And Rich, of course, I love this. I would love to see more of Prospero's Dream as the station, and just to sort of. But I would have also liked to have seen like what happens when Caliban's plague spreads all over the place. Yeah. I imagine it's like, is there by perchance a link between the Sycorax and the disease? Perhaps. Oh, in terms of NPCs that I would like to see, I would love to see Vlas, Doro, and Quint as NPCs and other ones, and I can definitely see Vlas as a bounty of the week contract or NPC. Like
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, and I can see Doro as the Republic senator that you have to protect or something like that. Or
Yes.
probably more likely in the Hook Cartel, the guy who's corrupt. Like,
That would be hilarious. Oh, good stuff. Thank you for all of those ideas. Well, Eris, bring us home. What stars and wishes did you have?
So stars all around, because this was a lot of fun. Everything was going according to plan, except for that last fail. If I wouldn't have failed that, I would have betrayed everyone. But I failed, and I couldn't keep going with my face. So, oh well. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Like turning the other team members like against, like at least one of them against them, and the whole disease stuff. That was like in the background. I was afraid it might be more than the background. And as for wishes, I hope Dora will one day be well, I would say Chancellor of the Republic, but I want to say the Emperor of the Republic. But I will see.
Nice. This was really unexpected and quite fun. I appreciate you guys throwing in all the ideas and just driving the plot, having the temerity to stick together. Big stars to Will for shepherding things along. Marco, I really appreciate the way that you leaned in hard into the plot in the Solarian Church. That was really fun for me. That was a nice payoff that I quite enjoyed. And Ares Dora was really fascinating. Like, I love the sliminess. He felt very kind of Ferengi, and I mean that in a good way. And there was definitely some Sheev Palpatine going on from time to time, the pre-Emperor stuff going on. So that was super duper fun.
I just figured out that I could have paid argument for arguments. I could have like taken like force sensitivity and stuff like that. Like there was no rule against it, so
there's no rule against it. It's a good thing about these light systems, right? You can do pretty crazy stuff. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and end the YouTube recording here. Thanks, you guys, for playing, and this has been really fun experimenting with Ghost Orbit.